Hi guys, welcome back to Flora Fun and Food. My name is Lauren and today I'm going to show you my version of like an Asian inspired mushroom soup. I just kind of bought things that I thought would be good together and it turned out delicious. So let me show you. Alright, we're going to get a pot of water boiling on the stove to rehydrate our dried mushrooms. So these are wood ear mushrooms. And I'm just going to put the whole pack in there because there's not very much. And then I'm going to add about half of the pack of dried chantel mushrooms. You really want to boil these, one, to rehydrate them, and two, mushrooms can absorb like toxins from around its environment, so you don't really want to be eating that. So when you boil it, you can kind of get those things leached out of it and, you know, discard that water before you cook it. Okay, now that our mushrooms have come up to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off and stir these up. And then I'm going to strain them out and put them in a bowl for later. Okay, my camera stopped, so I don't know what has happened, but I grated up some fresh ginger and garlic. It was about a teaspoon of ginger and 6 cloves of garlic. So about a tablespoon. Then I cut the root ends off of my brown beech mushrooms, and now I'm cutting the roots off of my white beech mushrooms. So we're just going to take the root ends off like that. And like that. And then I also have fresh oyster or king oyster mushrooms. And I'm just going to cut the ends off of these because they're kind of dried out. And I am going to slice these because they take a little longer to cook because they're thicker. While I'm cutting, I'm going to get my pan back on the heat and add just probably a teaspoon or tablespoon of sesame oil. And I'm going to add in my mushrooms as I get them cut. I'm also going to give the smaller beech mushrooms just a rough chop to make them a little bit more manageable bite-sized pieces. And we'll add those in as well. Give those a nice stir so that nothing gets burned or sticks. I also bought some baby bok choy. I love bok choy in a soup. So I'm just going to cut the root end off. And probably just cut these in half. I'm also going to add in my ginger and garlic. And my rehydrated chanterelle and wood ear mushrooms. Okay, now that I've let these kind of cook down a little bit, I'm going to add my liquids and my spices. So first up, I'm going to add probably about a half a cup of rice wine vinegar. That's probably 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce. And about 2 tablespoons of dark soy sauce. A teaspoon of red hot chili oil. This stuff's really hot, so go easy. Okay, now we will add our spices. I have some Gochugaru, which is Korean chili flakes, but they're not spicy. They just taste like really good red pepper. So probably about a tablespoon of that. 2 tablespoons of sugar. A teaspoon of chili powder. A teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and probably a tablespoon of black pepper. And again, we're just going to mix and let it continue cooking. And then I'm going to prep my spring onions for later, and these got a little wilted. I'm gonna reserve the green ends for later, and I'm gonna go ahead and add the white ends to my soup base for a little onion flavor. Alright, we're gonna turn this down. Now I'm gonna start with 4 cups of filtered water. And then 1 beef bouillon cube for now. I may add another one later, depending on the flavor. Okay, I'm gonna add in another 4 cups, so we're at 8 cups of water. And I'll definitely need another bouillon cube just because there's a lot of water in here. And I'm not adding any salt because this beef bouillon is really salty. So we'll flavor it later with salt if we need to, but I really don't think we will. I know I'm going to want more onion flavor in this, so I'm going to go ahead and add probably about 1.5 cups of pre-cut frozen onions that I have in my freezer. I should have sauteed these with everything else, but they'll cook in the boiling water, so I'm not too worried. Alright, we'll crank the heat back up and get this up to a rolling boil. Okay, our soup is boiling, so I'm going to give it a nice stir, and I am going to let it just kind of simmer for a while to cook those onions out. And mushrooms, you really can't overcook it in a soup. The bok choy is going to be fine, so I'm just going to let this keep simmering and just keep a close eye on it. While the soup is simmering, I'm going to add a big spoonful, like probably a heaping tablespoon of cornstarch to some water here. Maybe even 2 heaping tablespoons, whatever. And then I'm going to mix this together. You want to put it in cold water and make sure you have no lumps. This is going to help thicken our soup. And so we're going to kind of slowly pour this in to help thicken our broth. There we go. We'll let this simmer for about 5 more minutes or so just to kind of cook that out. And then I'm going to whisk up 2 eggs to do the kind of traditional egg ribbon that you get in like hot and sour soup. So we'll whisk those up and have those ready. So I just tasted it and it definitely needs a pinch of salt. And I added in just a little bit more sugar because it was a little more on the spicy side than the sweet side, and I wanted an even balance, so I probably added in another tablespoon of sugar. So now that we're back up to kind of just a low simmer, I'm going to stir while pouring in my egg, and this is going to give it that kind of egg ribbon texture that I like so much in hot and sour soup and egg drop soup and things like that. Oh, it's looking and smelling so good. Okay, I think our soup is ready for our bowl. So we're going to turn the heat off and we're going to just divvy out some soup into our bowl and add a few toppings, and then it is going to be ready to eat. Alright, to top this off, I'm just going to add some wonton strips for some crunch. And a few green onions because I love the fresh flavor of these green onions. And that is it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and head over to my channel to subscribe for more content like this. And I hope to see you again very soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.